good afternoon, everyone. It's very good to see you here because I know that it's the midterm exam week. So I know people have a lot of strugglings learning this and that, right? But today we are going to learn something about Professor Jia Shu. So it's our honor to have him here today. So I'm the host today. My name is Lise, and okay, so we will go through what will happen today first. So I'm the host and we have a speaker again. We have Professor Jia Shu. So he will do his background introduction later by himself. And for the second part, we will have a discussion. And for the discussion questions, we only have one question today, so you can start thinking about it and have your discussion later. So we are going to talk about what are your fears when struggling with academic pressure. And for the last 10 minutes, you will have a takeaway section, and throughout your discussion, you can carry out the questions which maybe you have faced or you are struggling with regarding to academic pressure, and you can have some solutions or some advice from Professor Jia Shu. Or if you have a discussion with your members, and you can share your thoughts like how you face an obstacles, how you solve a problem when you have one. So we will have that part like it's something like Q&A in the last section. So our today's theme is about all the dots will connect. So you might be wondering, what is this about? So we will use the experience of Professor Jia Shu to learn that no matter which major are you in, no matter in which stages, maybe you have a different major, like from degree to master, you change a lot. But actually everything you have learned, every experience you gain will show the best version of you one day. So this is our today's main topic, all the dots will connect. So we will be focusing on the Professor Jia Shu, his experience studying in UK. Okay, so let's allow Professor Jia Shu to introduce his background briefly, okay? Okay. This is Professor Jia Shu.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So Professor Jia Shu, can you briefly talk about your background?
Oh, my background?
Yes.
Sure. Could you please show the previous slide?
A previous slide, okay.
I just want to remind myself, wow, wow, it's good. Ooh. Okay, next.
Okay, next one. Professor Jia Shu has a very good version of his own.
Okay, yeah, great. I graduated from this university. No, not this university. I graduated from National Yangming University. Okay. But now I work for National Yangming Jiaozhou University. Okay, it's about 26 years ago. 26 years ago. Okay, so I got a DES, a bachelor degree from the Department of Dentistry, and then actually I have attended Department of Biochemistry for just half a year. Okay. Maybe 4 months, and then I quit it. Yeah, I quit it. I cannot get along with everything for that department. Not because of the professor, but supervisor, Dr. Chen Meiyu, is the best supervisor I've seen in this world. Well, that's because of my problem, because I don't know what to do for my master's degree. I mean, during the Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. Anyway, so I was there only for 4 months, okay? And then, next please. I started to earn money, but not much money. Okay, as a dentist, okay? And just, 6 months later, I entered a very, very big unit, unit in the Taiwan. That is the National Army of Department of Defense, National Defense. 我去当兵的啦. Yeah. And for 1 year and 8 months, and then later on I become a dentist again. And then 3 years later, now please. Yeah, I started to do my master's degree. I applied the master's degree to Imperial College London. So that is part of the University of London at that time. Yeah. So basically, this is what I've done. Before my study in Oxford.
Yeah, that's a very inspiring lifetime for the previous year because I am currently a physical therapy student, but I'm open to learn a lot of things like maybe music, finance, business, everything. I would like to learn about it. But actually, when it comes to the making decision, I will feel like, do I have so much time on learning all these things beside the priority major I'm in now? Because as an international student, there are a lot of considerations like financial. You need time, and the distance with your family are very far away. So when I first know that I'm going to interview Professor Jiashu, I was really looking forward to it because I was hoping that maybe I can learn something from you, that how you make all the decisions so accurate. So I was really looking forward to learn about your stories for the following sections.
Okay.
Yes. So let's allow Professor Jiashu to have his own stories. Okay. So can we go on? Should we go on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So back to the topic today. All the dots will connect. Of course, we have a limited time today, so we will learn as much as we can today. So it's your time now, Professor Jiashu.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. But first of all, yeah, please, I mean, you don't need to learn, you don't need, or maybe you should not, I mean, learn anything from me or from what I've done. I mean, because everyone has his or own their different pathway. Okay, so you don't really need to learn it, and especially my accurate decisions. Sounds like a big learning. How's the accuracy of your learning to Professor Jiashu Li's pathway? Oh, 95%, something like that. No, please don't. Okay. And usually when some teachers, they try to explain their career, their life, something like that, okay, they will make a false impression. Sorry, that's a false impression. A false impression that, oh, Professor Jiashu Li, you are getting up and up. But that's not really true. Okay, these pictures, I mean, they were all taken from, in Oxford. So this is basically a balloon, I don't know how to say that, hot balloon, okay, a hot balloon yard, around Oxford. So they have the hot balloon, traveling, whatever, every weekend, okay. So I just took a picture, a red balloon, okay. But actually, it is not really something up. It should be something like this. You see that? Sometimes it could be, downward, or, just different pathways, okay. That is cool. Have you seen the SpaceX, the rocket? The rocket going downward? The one, I think yesterday or last week, yeah, that one was the big Joe, Joe, to clench, hey, hello. The stick, to clench that rocket, that thing, yeah. That is very cool. So sometimes, going downward could be more difficult or more important than, going upward. Okay, now, Oxford University. Now, I have some gifts for you. Gift, not free. You have to answer the correct. You have to got a correct answer for this. Okay. Now, among these people, there's one guy. He or she has not attended Oxford University. Who is she or he?
Can anyone guess? Just a guess. You can just raise your hand and just say it out his or her name. Does anyone know?
Which one? Last one, Stephen Hawking. Well, Stephen Hawking, actually, he graduated from Oxford University for undergraduate for his bachelor degree. He studied physics there, and then he entered Cambridge for his master degree. Yeah, but no problem. Yeah, you will have my gift here. Okay, this is basically one of my books. Okay, thank you. So,
second guess.
Which one? This guy?
Yes.
Really?
I don't know his name.
You don't know his name? Oh my God! Oh no, I forget it. Anyway, but that's the correct answer. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Josh reveal what is his name so everyone can know about him?
Of course, yeah. Now, of course, Tim. Who? Oh, no. Okay, Tim Berners-Lee, of course, yeah, the inventor of triple W. Okay, and then J.R. Tolkien, you must know his name. Okay, so he's actually not just a great a student, but also a teacher in Oxford University. And then Emma Watson, well, she or Hermione. Okay, so she studied in Oxford, but she did not complete her degree. Okay, and Mr. Bean, of course. Okay, Rowan Atkinson, so that's his true name. Okay, anyway, so Mr. Bean, so he studied in Oxford, but I'm not sure if he has completed his degree for PhD. He studied engineering. Okay, and then Stephen Hawking, yeah, he studied physics at Oxford, but later on, he wanted to study, the astrophysics, the stars, black holes, something like that. And then he pursued a very famous teacher at Cambridge. Okay, so that's why later on he went to Cambridge. Now, Patrick Stewart. Has anyone seen his role in any film, in any movie? He played some very good roles here. Anyone know Professor X? Yeah.
Now they know.
Professor X from Fantastic Four and Captain Picard, Jean-Luc Picard, Star Trek. Okay, anyway, so he's not a student from Oxford, okay? However, he taught at Oxford for theater. Yeah, you might feel wonder, oh, so there's a visiting professor for contemporary theater. Yeah, so there's a lecturer. So he was a professor at Oxford University. Cool. And then, so now there are some, scientists or, the movie stars, whatever, whoever from the university. And also, when I started to learn there, I feel that not I am very strong, but I have become stronger. I have become so stronger, so brilliant. Whoa, that is why I'm here. Okay, that is the day when I'm going to have the matriculation. Matriculation, that is basically means the registration. Okay, you are going to the university and saying that, okay, I can myself, now I'm a student here. Okay, get out. I'm a student here. Okay, so that's basically the ceremony. Okay, it's not that kind of ceremony like the commencement. I'm not sure how to say that in English university.
Like orientation day.
Orientation. Yeah. It's not things like that. Okay, in NYC, usually the principal will say something. Welcome everyone. Congratulations. You will have a bright future. Thank you very much, something like that, okay? But for matriculation, it's very, very formal. It's just like, okay, I'm going to sign my name. Okay, so now, from now on, you are a student, you are part of us. Okay, goodbye, something like that, okay? But that is a very, very formal ceremony. Very formal ceremony, and you need to dress, with a very weird, the coat or the gown, G-O-W, gown. Gown, that means a very formal dress, okay? When you are going to, for example, to see the principal, you need to dress like this way, okay? That is the day, okay, 2007, when I thought, oh, I have become stronger, okay? Cool. Yeah, just keep in mind, this is my face. I just feel so proud of myself. Father and mother, and grandfather and grandfather, and the father of grandfather. Now I have become a student here. Okay?
They must be very proud of you.
So proud of myself, yeah. And where's the picture? Yeah. And just let you know, this is what happened 1 year later. Again, this is me. I'm not sure if Professor, you have seen, when I just came back type 1. Basically, it's very different from what yeah, this is basically, I'm become wider, than this one. And this guy's really, wow, you see? Yeah, just, 3 months later. Okay, sorry, 1 year later, okay. Okay, well, I have to say that, yeah. Later on, you are going to discuss with your partners about the fears of academics, struggling, something like that. Yeah. I have to say that is exactly the next one. I'm sorry, I'm going to show my evolution of my body. Okay, that one. Okay, so that is the result, please. The result of fears. This is what happened to fears. Yeah, I got great fear for my study. Not just because of graduation or academic research, whatever, but also financial problem. I got serious financial problem there. Let's say, for example, at that time, when I know there is some event like this one, okay, I will break in and then sandwich, okay, and then get out for my lunch because I have no money for my lunch. Yeah, so that is that moment. Okay, now please go back to and then that is one. Okay, now just to let you know, I mean, when you look into some universities, some a little bit older university in the world, sometimes you will see this is called coat of arms or some symbols of this university. Okay, well actually I have another question, but sorry, I have no gift here. So I have the answers first. Okay, so this is the coat of arms of Oxford University. Okay, and then within these pages there are some some kind of inscription. Okay, these are basically some sentences from Bible. Dominus in mea. So that means God is my light, something like that. Okay, just keep in mind these are Christian school. Okay, and this one I think many of you may have already known this one. Do you know? I mean, which university they got the coat of arms, the symbol for this one in America? It's a very famous university. Very tough, that means truth. Okay, so that's their symbol. And this one, I'm sorry, I don't know. I think this maybe Yale 大学. So basically, different universities have different symbols. The day for matriculation on that day, yeah. You can see all the banner with flags, okay? So on the banner, so there's a symbol for the university and for each of the college. Okay, now, what does it mean for the college? College. Okay, now, yeah, please, yeah. This is the Jesus College. This is the one that I entered within the university. So I just checked for Wikipedia. So this year there are 36 colleges in Oxford University. Okay. Now remember, in Hogwarts there are only 4 colleges. Hogwarts. Okay. Now we have 36 colleges. Okay. So Jesus College is one thing. So for the Jesus College, there's also their own symbol here. We call it 3D, okay, 3-step, 3D. That's me and Mel deer, 三路牌, okay. And then it's very interesting that when you go to this university, they will assign each student to each college. But just keep in mind, this college is not really something like a department. It's nothing to do with academic specialty. Okay. So let's say, for example, in Jesus College, we have students for biomedicine, we have students for classics, we have students for the business manager. I mean, from all kinds of specialties. Okay, but people live together within this college. Okay, next please. And I don't want to see this. Okay, next. Okay. And then, now this is the hospital. The hospital, that is really the real place that I work in. Okay, so I work in the Fingrip. Okay, this is the laboratory here, so office here. Basically, it's quite boring. Okay, and then, but we don't really have our own rooms. We have the room seated in the children's hospital, so it's very strange, okay? So we have the lab in the children's hospital in this Brown hospital, okay? This is the central hospital in the UK. So in the UK, basically they have 4 grades, okay? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Number 4, that's the highest grade hospital. So just like VGH, okay, or NTU hospital in Taiwan, okay? And then next please. Yeah, and that is the day when we move in the hospital, when we move in the new office, okay? Not really the day, but almost, at the very beginning when you move in, you can see on a bench, basically this whole blank, okay? Just let you know a very interesting story. I think it should be very inspiring for you, especially for students who come here. learning in Taiwan. There are always some kind of cultural difference in different parts of the world, okay, especially in the academic institution. For example, when I know that we are going to move to a new place, okay, and then the professor said that this weekend we are going to move to the children's hospital, okay, so, and then remember next Monday, yeah, please come to the children's hospital, that will be our new home. And then I'm from Taiwan, and I'm the guy who raised my hand quickly. Professor, this weekend, yeah, got it, okay, so when should I start to move all the things? What is my job? Please assign me any task. I want to do anything for you and this lab. Sorry, I mean, well, this is what happened to me. I think, of course, this is what, the lab, they have the big stuff to do, yeah, I should participate in these things. And then my professor, okay, she was so, surprised. No, please, Joshua, you don't want to come. Please don't come here. Because we are going to move to a new place, okay? I have my staff. I pay for them. They are my staff. They need to do this, okay? Okay, John and Peter, Mary, please come. Yeah, I pay for you, okay? So you do this. This is your job. But Joshua, you are a student here. You pay to the university, and you are here to receive your, knowledge or to do research. That is not your job to do all this stuff. But I'm a part of the lab. I think, as you are the master of my life, I should obey anyone. So you need to obey to my command. Please, you don't need to come. Okay? Yeah, it's quite different. I know in Taiwan, sometimes the professor will say that, next, blah, 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 and all the students will say, sure, of course, yeah, let's, blah, 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 okay. But in the UK, basically, they are very, very strict about this. Of course, there's something to do with the law. Yeah, they have some laws about, you cannot tell students to do something, irrelevant with their studies, something like that, okay? And then, it's about 1 year later, okay, this is what happened here. So the professor feel very happy, oh, everyone got more and more jobs here. And this is a time about, my living. When I lived in this university, so it became very, very different, okay? And next, please. Yeah, so this is just a group picture. So this is a lab. It's so large lab, there's so many people. Jesus Christ, oh, sorry. It's so large, and sometimes even I myself, I cannot find where I was. Yeah, that is me. Yeah, it's nobody. But anyway, I mean, we've got so many lab members here, but even for the professor themselves, I mean, they feel very, very difficult to look into anyone, so sometimes they just shout, Joshua! And then, something like that, okay? And this is one of my supervisor, and this is another one of my supervisor, okay? Professor Anne Tracy, she is now the principal or vice chancellor of Oxford University. In Oxford University, they don't have something like a real principal like Dr. Lin Qihong, okay? For example, in this university, we have Dr. Lin Qihong, so he is the principal, okay? But okay, but in Oxford University, basically they have the chancellor. The chancellor is someone like the inspector. When I say inspector, that means the chancellor supervises. Okay, did you do this job well? Did you do that job well? Something like that. Okay, and the vice chancellor is the one like a CEO. Okay, so he or she needs to manage everything. Okay, so yeah, many years ago. Yeah, I believe many of them they have already quit this university. Next, please. Okay, just some pictures regarding the Jesus College. So basically, it's old building and not very old. So if you look, from outward, I mean the outside of the building, yeah, it looks very old. But next, please. If you get into the building, so this is basically one of the rooms. It's a lobby. It's a lobby for the dean or the principal of the college. Oh, it's another principal. Yeah, the principal of the college. Okay, not the university. Okay, as I said, there are 36 college there. And that is the day when I have to see the principal myself. Okay, so for each year, the principal will summon 招办处学生 will summon students. Okay, Joshua, come to my office. I want to talk to you. Oh my God. Okay, and then the principal at that time of our college is Lord Krabs. Krabs. Anyone study biochemistry? Krebs cycle, 三态循环那个 Krebs cycle, Krebs, okay. That was his father. 不是他了，他老爸了 okay. But Lord Krebs, okay. Lord Krebs, okay. Well, that surprises me. So at that time, I asked my supervisor, Professor, I'm going to see Lord Krebs. So what should I do? Should I call him my Lord? or just sir, or and then she was laughing. Okay, I think you can just call him John. Well, actually we always call him John. No way, John. Or maybe just Professor. Yeah. So that's the time when I saw him. I said, Professor. Okay, and then he said that. Okay, please call me John. Okay. How nice it was, okay. But just keep in mind, there is kind of a very, very interesting tradition in English speaking or interpersonal interaction. Now, when someone says that you can just call me John, okay, and then of course you can call him John, okay. But when I'm going to talk to another guy, we have the same of my peer, 是我们同才哈，同样辈分的人. You cannot say that, okay, I have seen John this morning. No, you should say I have seen principal this morning. Okay? Because when you say, I have seen John this morning, John is not your same peer, 不是同辈分的人. Well, they really care about this. Okay, so I will say, Professor, I have seen the principal this morning. And then when I see the principal himself, I will say, hey, John, something like that. Okay, it's different culture. Alright? And yeah, finally, yeah, it's just for fun. Okay, so in some colleges, sometimes they will show they will have some very stupid, games or some ceremonies. But I think, it's basically a stress reliever, okay, to relieve your fears and stress, for your study. Okay, this is the turtle raising. Okay, now next time, if you are going to have turtle raising, maybe in your college, okay, so this is the way they did this. They have the turtle, they have the start point here, okay, and then have the turtle walk around or run away from this point to different, the circles here, okay, to calculate the distance at different direction. Okay, why? Why don't they just, have the race just like a human beings? No way, because turtle will do something like this. Okay, so you cannot keep them on the same tracks. Okay, they use this method. Well, I think that's really very, very smart way to do this. Okay, and next. Well, I think, no, nothing. Okay, next please. Next please. Yeah, so basically this is what I want to share with you. Some really nonsense stuff, okay. And I want to share with you this quote, okay. It's very famous, okay. Even the smallest person can change the course of the future. Okay, it's from Lord Green. Okay. That's basically, nonsense. Of course, we are just small people. We are all small people. It's difficult for us to change the course of the future, though. But I believe you can change the course of your own future. Indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Jiashu. I guess it's a very inspiring story, right? So, since we still have a few minutes for this section, I would like to ask you one question. How have you been doing the decision, you know that it's the right decision? Because before your success, you know that every step is like a bet. So how are you so sure that you are doing the right thing on the right track? And throughout these years, do you have doubted by other people?
That's a very difficult question to answer. But first of all, maybe I try to avoid your question directly. Okay, so I will speak. Different things. Okay, first of all, when you make a decision, you expect some good outcome will happen. Okay, of course, yeah. But my suggestion is, according to my own experience, do not expect anything. Yeah. Because when you expect something very good to happen, and then it will give a very strong feeling that, well, this is not what I expected. And then you will judge your previous decision as a wrong one. And that is very bad feeling. And I'm a person with a very strong emotional disturbance. Yeah, I have some disorders, mental disorders. Yeah, you see that? So sometimes I don't want to get myself, so stressful. Okay? So the way is, do not expect too much. And especially, do not try to make comparison between yourself and other people, especially people that are really irrelevant with you too much. Well, I would make comparison to myself and my fellows, my friends, dentists, for example, and then make comparison between my salary with their salaries. No, I'm not going to do that. Why should I do that? Yeah, because we have different jobs. We have different jobs, so there's no fair background for comparison. Why should I do that? Okay, maybe my wife will do that, but I'm not going to do that. Okay? Yeah. And of course, and that is why when I talk to, for example, my friends, the dentists, so they will say that, Chashu, you are really a weird people. You dedicate to your research so much, and sacrifice your dental job, something like that. And I was simply say that, no, there's no sacrifice. Because at the first day when I entered the Department of Dentistry for my college study, I know I'm not going to pursue a dental career. So to me, if I go to the academic institute for research, that is my track. Because I know I'm here. You know what? If I am now working in the hospital as a dentist, for so many patients, blah, 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 and that to me, that is basically a strange thing, because that is what I'm trying to do. Yeah. So sometimes, just don't make too much comparison, too many comparisons. Yeah. I think that would relieve much of your stress.
Yeah, that was a very strong advice from a successful person. It reminds me of 3 years ago before I entered Taiwan, I have to do some medical checkup in the clinic, and out of sudden I suddenly asked the doctor, how are you so sure that you want to be a doctor? Yeah, I asked the doctor. It's a true story of my own. I asked the doctor, and I couldn't remember what is the thing he said, but I remember he saying that if you don't leave that place, then it's your pathway. So if you really don't want to do that, you want to be here. So one day as long as you are here, it's a thing that you like, but maybe you don't find the passion of it yet. But you don't leave means that you still have a passion for it. So I guess that it goes the same to Professor Jiashu and all of you. You just need time to find that what is your passion towards. So it's a very interesting story of Professor Jiashu, and he has been talking for some time. So it's now the turn for you guys to talk, and I will introduce, this is a discussion we had mentioned just now. What are your fears when struggling with academic pressure? It can be now you are facing or you have faced. So it can be time management, financial problem, difficulty seeking emotion, support, difficulty in joining social groups, and fear of imperfections. So you are divided into groups, and you have 5 minutes for these questions, and after 5 minutes, you will have this part. You can carry out a question. You can share how you overcome the obstacles you have faced, or if you are facing some difficulties and you need some advice from Professor Jiashu, please carry out that questions and let other people to help you. So we would like to listen how you manage to overcome the obstacles you face, and feel free to ask Professor if you have any questions now. Okay, so you have 5 minutes for the discussion part. Sorry. Okay, so get into your groups and start the discussion.
现在是他们先讨论5分钟，
对对
然后等一下会有问题问我。
对对对对对对。
他叫他准备开会。
Are you four in one group?
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
Are you like one? Yeah, okay.
I didn't pass this of our department.
我想去上个厕所。 最后10分钟。我用那边过好了。我刚刚喝过。快结束掉它吧。
我觉得你问的问题很好。
对，没错没错。
差点就问不到了。
没有神经。
我们要准备开始了，对不对？
Also, I study art design. I care about that. And because of two.
Okay, so 5 minutes time is up. So I guess you have a little bit discussion with your members. So before assisting any of you to speak out, I would like 3 volunteers to share your opinions. You can either share your opinions or you can give the question. So anyone who like to volunteer, can please raise your hand. If no one is going to raise your hand, okay, we have one person there.
Hi, Professor Joshua. I'm Ingrid, and what I'm doing right now is I'm a PhD student. So my fear is having a financial problem recently because I'm having a baby next month. So I need to have more money, but I'm really curious about how Professor Joshua has faced the financial problem during your academic process.
Okay. Well, first of all, congratulations. Yeah, and I know it's quite both joy and burden, if I may, good things and bad things, all together. Yeah, sometimes, so that is why, studying, especially for PhD degree, that's always very stressful, because we are not really, just a student. We also have different roles. For example, like daughters, sons, mothers, husbands, different roles. Okay, sometimes it's really conflicting, and indeed, the best solution is money. If we have more resources to cope with everything, okay. But of course, I may not give you some advices about how to secure, the scholarship or tuition fees here. But I can share with you what happened to me in Oxford. So basically, at that time when we studied abroad, so basically in the UK. They do not, at least in Oxford University, okay, they do not require you, to get scholarship first, okay. I know in some universities they will need to know if you have secured any scholarship to support you financially for the future 3 years. But in this university, no. But the problem is, the life expenses and any expenses in UK is very, very high. It's very, very expensive. So when I was there, the first thing I'm going to do, the primary thing I'm going to do is not for my research. I spent, almost the first 3 months in my office, okay, on my desk, to looking for scholarship, not for my research, okay. And then there's the scholarships, for foreign students in Taiwan from the Department of Education. And I have applied for that scholarships 3 times and I failed to get that. That's record breaking. Because all the students I know, usually they apply for that for just 1 time, okay, they succeeded. But no, I did not succeed for 3 times. I applied for 3 years and 3 times, no way. And one of the reasons is, now, I think I can speak freely to you about that, okay? That is because I have no connections. Yeah, no connect, okay? For example, the connection with the supervisor or my teachers in Taiwan. The problem is, I'm a dentist. Okay, now I study neuroscience. Now, if I ask my professors in the dental department, okay, to write a letter for me, okay? Joshua, of course, I can write a letter to you, okay? So what are you going to do? A dental implant or surgery? No, Professor, I study neuroscience. What? Huh? What I'm going to write about you? Your study? Neuroscience? Huh? That's the problem. I don't have any connection. Well, I have to say I myself maybe the first, first guy studying neuroscience or especially brain science was a dentist. So there's no background, no connections. So it's very difficult for me to get any letters for that. And then I'm not one, sent by the hospital. Sometimes the hospital will send some, student or some staff, to learning, and they will support them financially, okay? So connection is really, really very important, okay? And later on, okay, just keep it simply. Later on, I got a scholarship from the UK government. So that is government for overseas students, okay? And it's very interesting, just to let you know, that is not because I'm so brilliant I can get that scholarship, no. It's simply because my supervisor, the lady, she got lots of students, but all of her students, they are local students. I mean, the English people, okay? So I'm basically one of very, very few students, from overseas countries. So that is why she argues with the panel that I have the student, you have a student not from UK, from Taiwan? Where Taiwan? Yeah, I have a student from Taiwan. And he has no money. He needs money. That's the only reason. I thank for her effort for me. Yeah. And again, that is also kind of connection. Yeah. She was willing to help me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Professor Jiashu, and I think that Ingrid actually carried out a very good question because financial problem is actually a big problem in most of you guys, even in me. So, but if you believe that what are you doing now is actually investment for the future. So, yeah, study well is actually a good way to make money in the future, to be honest. So, we need second volunteer. Who is going to ask questions or share something? Okay, so you can be the second one and you be the third one. Okay.
Hello, Professor. I just want, because I'm a PhD, 5-year PhD student right now, so I'm still looking for maybe my future, whether I should be the postdoc or searching for another job. So in the very beginning, I want to ask Professor how did you make a decision to go to UK but not go to another nations or
Okay. Oh, good question. Well, the simple answer is I don't want to go to America. Because, believe me or not, sorry Liz, I don't like or even I hate a situation like this one. Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, because maybe you will feel very surprised that, I'm a very, very socially excluded person. I hate it, for example, people chatting, hey, welcome, something like that, okay? I hate that. I work alone. I work alone for a long time. I sit in my office for 10 hours doing my own job. I'm that kind of person, okay? So back to your question. Sometimes we'll try to decide where to learn. Maybe you need to consider the atmosphere, 空气, 气氛, the atmosphere. Are you willing to work in that kind of style? Okay, and in UK and some European country, they prefer people working in that style. Okay, maybe you have different style. Okay, you just got your job done. Okay, so we are not going to interrupt you. Or maybe you have heard about that in Japan, for example. Everyone work together. Okay, our team is going to discuss program. Okay, everyone stand up, something like that. Okay, I hate that. So I think the atmosphere to study in the UK, that fits me well. Thank you.
Yes, but actually, to be honest, all of us, or most of us here, are actually introvert person. But because after some few sections of chat hour or this kind of section, they become more willing to talk in front of people. But actually, atmosphere is a very key point for your future studies. Okay, so we have the last person. Oh, okay.
Hello, Professor. I am Sauvik from India. It's a really pleasure to meet you that you sharing your journey in UK. So I am a student of Institute of Biomechanics, also College of Biomedical Science and Engineering. So I am asking a question about that. I am a PhD student now. So after PhD, I want to be a professor. So what is the how I will be a professor after PhD, and how I will research that it helps me to get a job in professor. If you please share.
Okay, thank you. Wow, that's another very difficult question. And again, I can only share my own experience with you. Okay, so well, actually, I have the same ambition, just like you. Yeah, when I study for a PhD degree, my aim is to get a teaching job or research job in academia. Yeah. So at that time, I started looking to, for example, first of all, your research topic. Is that the one? I mean, practically, is that the one that people will say, "Oh, that is what we need. That is what we need in the university," something like that. Okay? But sometimes, simply speaking, you may say, "Okay, I'm going to pursue a research topic that is very, very hot." Everyone looking to the same thing, like, for example, semiconductor or AI, something like that. That is, of course, a very good strategy, okay? However, to me, I know I'm not a super brilliant people. Can I compete with other people, brilliant people that are doing the same thing, just like me? Yeah. Yes. So my answer, okay, to myself, what about your own answer? But my answer is no, I'm not the one. So maybe I'm going to do something different from other people. What other people do. Okay, for example, I studied neuroscience in dentistry, and then I found there's actually no dentist study, in this field. So that is the strategy to show that I know something that you don't know. Okay, well, I think until now, this is still my strategy to show people my value, for example, in this university. And of course, the most difficult part is when you decide that direction, you have to push yourself to have a real achievement. Again, that is something like your research paper, your paper, something like that, yeah. But basically, I believe, generally, there are just two different strategies.
Okay, Professor, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Professor Jiashu, and those volunteers. I guess you will receive the gifts, and so it's a lot of useful information today, and we are coming to an end. Okay, so I hope everyone here don't feel embarrassed to show your passion towards anything. It's not specifically your major or anything. You can just love what you do and do what you love. Okay, so thank you, Professor Jiashu. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. So thank you.